So we agree that Jigga My Nigga is the lowest point of the Blueprint.
Yes. And You
Um,
Don't Know is the highest.
the funny thing is, when I first listened to Blueprint, the rip that I got, the final song, it still had the bonus tracks in it. So it wasn't segregated. So the track was like 9 minutes long.
Yeah. That's how it was on the
And
album version. No, it wasn't wrong.
yeah, but the thing is, like, if you're in this, like, obviously the streaming era has corrected this because Spotify has them segregated now. But
Right.
this is one of those albums that I put on the iPod and I just listened to, and it actually took me a long time to find these bonus tracks.
That's what I
Because
told Lamb. That's what I told Lamb. Go ahead.
yeah, and so it was like I just remember one day I was listening to Blueprint, and then Mama Loves Me finished, and then I just let it ride. Like, I don't know what it was. I don't know if I spaced out or whatever. I just let it ride or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I just kind of noticed that I'm not hearing any music. And then I look at my iPod and I see, why is this track 9 minutes long? And I like skipped and I hear like just some rapping about like jumping jacks and some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then like I totally stumbled on those bonus tracks by complete accident. And that's how I heard Lyrical Exercise and Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2.
That's hilarious because that is how I discovered there's bonus tracks on Volume 3. Because again, Volume 3, the very last song on there is the Hova song outro. And for some reason, I was playing it in my room one day and I was just letting it run. And then all of a sudden, bam, 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 I was like, wait a minute. Dun, 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 dun. And of course, it was still edited. It was a Walmart edit. Jigga, what's my name? And I was like, there's bonus tracks on volume 3. And then Jigga My Nigga played, and then Girl's Best Friend from the Blue Streak soundtrack played. And so that happened to me.
Jeez, I forgot about that song. God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, man. Because I think Wes's copy of his bootleg did have Breathe Easy and Girls, Girls, Girls separate. Or at least made a note there was bonus tracks, so we would keep listening to the last track. But I don't know why he did that because I don't off the top of my head, he's the only artist I can think of that at least did that twice, where he buried full ass records. Now, obviously, in Volume 3, these were off of other albums, but these are two completely new records that he just was like, I want to put these on here, but I'm not going to tell anybody. Just throw it after there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very and maybe that's kind of a holdover from the vinyl era. I mean, it's way later than the vinyl era, but
Yeah.
just the idea of sneaking something in there and then if they find it, they find it or whatever. But I mean, we're kind of living in an era now where there's literally no reason to ever do that again. So
No,
like,
no.
so at least, it's kind of like this way. And to an extent, but not really, but to an extent, what Justin was doing on his solo albums, with Timberland, as far as like the mashing up of the two completely different types of songs and then
Yeah.
making it kind of amalgamate, you know, this isn't that, but I guess it's kind of in the same realm of like just drawing these sort of songs together in this kind of way. But
Yeah.
um I would say rappers don't need to do this ever again. So, like, it's like, I know Bill Simmons like to ask was aged the worst. I would say putting this, especially Lyrical Exercise, which is, I mean,
It's a
it's
great
in the
record.
vein, yeah, it's in the vein of what 22 Twos was, as far as like kind of like a gimmicky type of
It is gimmick.
record, but he's still so impressive on it that you can't really dismiss it as just like a gimmick in that kind of like negative connotation. So Lyrical Exercise is really good. I i don't think Girls Go Girls Part 2 is better than the original. I think there are parts that are a bit more humorous on it. I
Hmm.
think there's some parts of it that are a bit more funnier, but he's still like continuing the lineage of like the comedy of the original. anyway. So I think Girls Part Two is still pretty solid record.
I have to say, what's aged the worst, unfortunately, is not the fact that he buried those tracks on the end of Blueprint Mama Loves Me. It's the fact of the lyrics that he says on Girls, Girls, Girls and Girls Part 2. Because he says some
Yeah.
pretty foul stuff that does not fly in 2021. Like the whole "What tribe you with" line, that's not great. Um,
Um. Well, that line could have been way worse.
it could have
The
been.
whole the Chinese girl bootlegging things. Yeah,
Yes,
it's not really cool.
right. Girls
So
Part 2 isn't as bad, but Girls 1 definitely has a couple suspect lines. Um, yeah, I mean, he definitely throws some things out there that when he's describing the women that don't hold up that well.
yeah, Jigga man, why you treat me like animal?
Yeah.
Like I
Excuse me,
remember,
Miss Fufu.
I
Yeah,
remember in high school, people were definitely saying that, just to be
you
dickheads. So
you was dead broken naked. Now you want half. I got this
yeah.
chick after 10 million sold. Yeah, man. Oh man, like that line's not that bad. Narcolepsy's funny, I guess.
If you say so, Cal. If you say so.
Well, the way he said it was she always falls asleep on him. I mean, it's not funny as far as her trying to live her everyday life. I'm sure it's very, very hard to live with that.
Very hard, yes.
So no Neptune's tracks on this album. One Timbaland, and this is probably one of my least favorite Timbaland records, Timbaland Jay-Z records, honestly. Ola Vito. Simply because this was the era of the videos. They would do the whole video. So they did the Izzo video, and at the end of the video, they switched the video. And it's like, we're going to do a different song, give you a preview of another song on the album. I can remember Missy doing this a few times. Like she did this with one a video, and then the end song was like lick shots off of this was off of the Missy Misdemeanor album, or the Missy, what damn it was that? Don't say it. Missy So Addictive album. I remember discovering that song that way. So it was real cool for artists to play another song at the end of their video to kind of show another album cut. And they played the beginning of Ola Vito at the end of Izzo, man. And I got real hyped for that record. I was real excited to hear it. And once you hear the whole thing, it's good. But then it's like, it's not as great as I thought it would be, but it's still a solid record, man. Never change. Great song. We got to talk about Heart of the City, though, before we get out of here. I feel like it's the centerpiece of the whole album in a way. Would you agree or disagree?
I think it is. I think that it definitely starts off what Jay has kind of been running from his whole career, as far as like you only really got the touches of kind of the thoughtfulness of what Jay could do on songs, on Regrets, on every now and then, like, you would get um I forget, I'm blanking on a song from Volume One now.
You Must Love
Um
Me.
You Must Love Me, yeah.
Yep.
And so you get you get Heart of City, then you never change, and you get Song Cry, which Never Change isn't necessarily that kind of introspective. It's still pretty braggadocious, but you get Heart of City, and then Song Cry, which is Song Cry is like I think a lot of girls, a lot of women, especially in the high school that I went to, and especially like young girls who were my friends at the time, and even after that, like I know, like even girls from New York, like I know a lot of girls that say "Song Cry" is their favorite Jay song.
I
But
can
that
see
was a
it.
song that really touched a lot of women in that kind of time, in that era. But I think of that album in totality, I think Heart of the City uh, really kind of stuck the landing in that way. And I do think that it is Jigga held you down 6 summers, damn, where's the love? Like, I still remember that being kind of like, he has been around for a long time. And honestly, like even that kind of bar, like I do think that it was a response to just the popularity that seemingly these other New York rappers were getting, but they were still leapfrogging Jay. And so it's kind of like this is the time when DMX is hotter than Jay. We're actually on the cusp of, um, and maybe actually even a little bit at the same time, like Ja Rule becoming like
I was getting ready to say
elevated. We're
M.
like
M was bigger than J. Ja was bigger than J.
we're right around the corner from 50 Cent being the biggest rapper in
Yep,
the game.
2 years.
So it's like actually not even because uh Get Rich or Die Trying was next year, wasn't it?
It was in 03, so it
I
was
was
two.
03?
Yeah, the
Okay.
mixtape started in 02, and then Get Rich
Okay.
came out in February of 03.
Okay.
I can remember that.
All right. So, but I mean, even still, like, I think this is, I know Jay likes to like do the sports comparisons, but I do think that this is just a situation to where he's super competitive and he kind of wanted to respect in that kind of way. So I think I think Heart of the City, especially that bar in particular, kind of was like the staking of his claim, like planting his flag, so to speak, to try to make his name into that kind of mantle.
Yeah, no, I can completely agree with you. Because for everything that I said that you don't know like like rap goals and rap song 101. Again, Heart of the City, it starts the whole run off of Jay being a little bit more introspective on the album, aside from him getting a little braggadocious on Never Change. But I mean, he really does break it down the whole verse, man, like on each verse. And I really love the very last verse, man. Like the Richard Pryor gonna burn up, and I can see the Turner break up, and I wake up to more bullshit. You knew me before records. You never disrespected me. Now that I'm successful, you pull this shit. Nigga, I'll step on your porch, step to your boss. Let's end the speculation. I'm talking to all of y'all. Male shouldn't be jealous. That's a female trait. What you mad? Because you push dimes and he sell weight. Like that
Yeah,
whole verse is nothing but jewels. And then to end it with the ultimate, obviously I heard this line before then, but to drop the ultimate line with "What you eat don't make me shit. Where's the love?" Um, it just really goes to show you that while Jay is trying to stake his claim, he's also trying to say, despite everything that y'all are putting against me, and despite the fact that I don't feel like I'm getting the recognition I deserve, I'm still going to do me at the end of the day. And
yeah,
it's something that Jay is obviously continuing to carry with him to this very day. And this whole song could be a Jay-Z mission statement. It really,
yeah.
really, really cool. Really, really could. And isn't the line about arguing arguing with fools on this song on this track too? Like people from a distance can't tell who was who. Or am I thinking about a different song on the blueprint? Um
Is about who?
no, Jay said something about he doesn't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who was who.
That's on
Um,
Takeover.
that's Takeover. Okay, so yeah, along with that, "What you eat don't make me shit" line, and then from that line on Takeover, those are both big statements that you can apply to everyday life, and
Yeah,
I think is a pretty incredible. Again, that we talked about Jay saying all this fly stuff on a rhyme and breaking it down. Again, Jay says these simple things and puts them in the rhymes, and I can understand it, and it just worked so beautifully.
yeah.